know how it goes, brothers and sisters. We've been there so many times. The revolutionaries until England is on football or England's on TV. So we've got a great lineup tonight, brothers and sisters. And jeez, we are going to be blowing up. We're going to be blowing up. Now, I know that there's a brother that I've got a lot of love and a lot of time for. And that is Brother Jammers. And you know, brothers and sisters, I actually invited the brother to come and say a few words there. I know that one of his main men are gonna should be on tonight if everything goes well between our connection with the between the UK and stateside. But Jammers, are you there, my king? Brother Jammers, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here, man. I'm here, King. I'm here, King. Can you hear me?
Oh, big brother, it's long overdue that you meant to be on my show, my big brother. But you know what? God works in mysterious ways, brother. But in the back of my mind, Jammers, God, brother. You know, I've seen you in the community. Me and you've worked many times before in the past. Right. And in truth, brother, I've got to bow to you because you've been very patient with me. I know you've been throwing some good opportunities my way. No and problem. Times has been just, you know, the mathematics behind the times just wasn't working right now because I'm just crazy busy. But in my mind, I said, I want to connect more of my king here, brother. And that's why when I saw you on Sunday, come on, G. You had to go, brother, you're a humble brother. But
respect.
For those who in the community that may not know Jammers, please, just quickly, who's Jammers?
Well, I'm just here to serve the community. You know, I've just been blessed that the ancestors have given me the gift of breaking down words, breaking down the meaning of words and etymology. You know, and that's what I want to give to the community to reactivate our memory and our intelligence. You know, I can feel the hairs standing on the back of my neck in here, and I haven't got hairs on the back of my neck. So, so it's long overdue, but it's the time is right, you know. So it's a game changer. That's all I say.
I know many brothers and sisters have said to me in the past, Brother Andrew, Jammers needs to come on your show, and that's what the back of my mind. So those of you that told me, you know things have to happen at the right time. But exactly. Jammers, I know when it comes to words and etymological root science, brother, that's your game, brother, man. That's passionate to you. And please, brother, in the short time we have, why are words fundamental in the liberation of the human being, especially the black man? Why? Why do you take it so passionate, brother?
Because etymology means the truth, true words. And this is what we used to speak to each other, the truth. And when you're speaking the truth to each other, you know what to do. You know how to maneuver. You know exactly how to coordinate and navigate on this planet. They've manipulated the words and twisted them around. Basically, we are suffering from strep symbolia. Yeah.
Woo! Come on,
I
King.
thought I'd have to drop something in there, you know.
Not dropping some size. Explain, brother, explain.
Right, there's two meanings to strep symbolia. Strep means strip, fol means sound, and symbolia means symbols. So they strip the sounds from the symbols, the symbols, and this gives us strep symbolia, also means twisted symbols. So that's why all the symbols have been changed and reversed. This gives us alexia. Woo! Yeah, the strep symbolia, which takes the sounds from the symbols and gives us twisted symbols, gives us alexia. Alexia is learned dyslexia.
Wow.
So we do no longer recognize the power behind the meaning of the words.
Wow.
So they've taken away our knowledge of the words. So we're looking at things and we don't recognize the power and not connected.
Brothers and sisters, are you listening to my king here? That's why, brother, you know, we know that, you know, the language is a form of witchcraft for some cultures and a form of spelling, casting spells on other nations, brother. And we know that literally words are so powerful, it can make you think and act a certain way. And we know that today, we're living in a world which is based on death. That's why as soon as you wake up, what do we call it? Wake up. But when you look at the word wake, you know, you go to someone's wake, that means they're dead. And then we say good morning, but we know that morning is a sign of death. So, you know, good morning. You know what I mean, brother? Break down some more, brother. Break down some more that we need to be aware of.
Well, let me see. So we're suffering from a minute. Basically, we have we work off intelligence. That's what they're taking away. They don't want us. They're trying to stop us from activating our intelligence. This is why we're in the situation we're in. We're not acting with intelligence. Come on now, look what we've done in the past. If we were acting on our intelligence, we would not be in the position that we're in. Intelligence means your inner self knows what to do, and no one can't tell you what to do. You know, so we have to activate our higher intelligence. You know, we are thinking from the ink of somebody else's pen. If you look at the word think, inside the word think is the word ink. Ink comes from the pen. Pen in Latin means punishment, as in penalty or penitentiary, or a holding device. Pig pen, play pen. Yeah. So every time we think from the ink of a pen, we're either going to be punished or we're going to be held. Every time you see the word pen, once again, it's punishment or being held. Like a pendant is held. Suspended has got the word penned in it. Held. When something's pending, it's held. Punishment. So this is how we are not using our natural ability to maneuver. We are working from somebody else's holding device. That's why we write in a sentence, because we're sentenced by the thoughts that we have, because somebody else has given us these thoughts. And that's why we write, because a write is something you do without a thought process. It's a ritual, you know. And if you don't do what's written or get it right, you get punished, you see. So this is why we're held by this program that they put down, and the very words that we're using is holding us, you know. So we haven't been shown really what these words are, you know. Basically, their Latin sounds have been put together to make one word, you know. And
teach on that, my king. Teach on that, my king.
And the word is a meaning. The meaning is just average. It's not the precise use of the language. You know, a mean man don't give you nothing.
Brothers and sisters, are you listening? We've got jammers online today. And the brother looks angry, man. He's just dropping science for us today.
Yes, man. And we've been given the lowest form of language that we've been given to use is common language. And a common field is language that you just use. Because just like we used in ancient Kemet, there's 3 stages of language. There's a philosophical language, there's administrative, and there's the common use of language. So we've been just taught the common use of language. That's why we have to get a lawyer or a liar when we get into the legal aspect of anything. And then we find our words have no power.
Keep teaching, brother. Keep teaching. I mean,
okay, so that's why they call us a minority, because a minority means a child, you know, and that's why we need a guardian to teach when we get in law to speak for us. You see, so we've been given the lowest form of language once again, which is the common use of language, and we have not been shown what these sounds mean. Once again, I said every time you see the word pen, you know it's a hold or punishment. We write as a ritual. Tautology means when you're shown something, but you're not shown how to do it. You know, and that's why, hence, when we write in a ritual, and we're held by the sentence of the word. That's why it's called a sentence, because we're sentenced by the words that we have. And when there's no pen, you get the word open, so you can go in and out. So the language has been written in a code. That's why it's called a code of law, you know, a code of action. And the word code means to come together, as in cooperate, co-pilot, collaborate. So every time you see the word co, it means together. D means to bring down, decline, deduce, deduct. So code means to come together to bring something down. That's why
jammers, brother, you know what? You're a brother that can just teach in your sleep, brother. I can just wake you up one night and just say, jammers. And you know, when you're teaching, brother, it reminds me of the great brother Malcolm X. You know, the history says that literally the first thing he'd done when he was in prison in terms of gaining back his consciousness, he just sat down and he said he just read the dictionary from A to Z. Yeah. No one could debate against him. You know what I'm saying? The power of words is fundamental. Now, brother, it's fantastic that you're here tonight. And I'm so happy that you're here tonight. As you know, jeez, we've got our king. I'm not too sure what part of America is signing in for, but I could just see the brother's shining face just joining us in the UK and around the world. Mfundishi, Jhutyms. Okay, I probably ripped up his name and he'll correct me anyway, brother. This is a brother that I love. This is a brother, and Jammers, you know, you're doing some great work in the UK. And when you heard this brother was gonna be on the show, Jammers, I'm gonna introduce the brother now. But Jammers, what would you like to say to the king right now? He's here, he's live right now on the Intro Show.
I just like to say thank you for saving our culture, you know, and giving us back our memory, you know, and fighting for the cause, especially when people were bringing. I think you came to my attention when SETI sort of shattered the whole of the Kemetic science, you know, and he made some relevant points, but I couldn't counteract. But you came and you rose up and you really corrected certain aspects of it. And what you're bringing to the community, what I want to know is you're bringing a gift, because the Europeans are just looking at the residue of the language and deciphering it from the residue, but you're looking from the formation of the language, and that's a special science that you have and a craft that you have. So thank you for coming here. Thank you.
It's my pleasure. It's my pleasure. You know, I teach that culture is your medicine. And the fox, let me just say this here: the sheep would not ask the fox to explain his culture to him. Okay. And that's what we're doing. We're asking the wolf and the fox to give us our culture. And so your culture is going to make sure you're guess who's coming to dinner. And we have been dinner for the Western world. So it's time for us to regroup, take back our story, teach our own history, and the history of the world in the correct, using symptomatic thinking as opposed to symbolic thinking, learn our language. Our classical language is the Medu Neter. See, Latin, which we created for Europeans, is their classical language. They go back to Greek and Latin. See, they have no script. The British, the English have no script. The French have no script. The Germans have no script. They use a Latin script, which was created by us for them. We have a script. Africans got the most scripts on the planet. But the Medu Neter is our classical language. So no matter where you go in Africa, like I was teaching Medu Neter in Ghana to people who speak Ashanti Tree. And the Medu Neter made their language clearer. So no matter what African language you speak or what language you speak, when you learn the Medu Neter, our classical language, it enhances it, puts it closer to nature, puts you in tune with the creative spiritual force, which you are. We are divine spiritual beings having a divine human experience. And it lets you know that you are a divine being. We have so much self-hate going on, but we've been programmed like that. And so what the Medu Neter does, it takes that self-hate away. Like I'm looking at the background you have here. You have the Nubians, the Cushites right there. They are the parents of ancient Kemet. And they always show themselves at their very best. Right now, we got to go back and we have to understand that culture is our medicine. And nobody is going to liberate us. We are the ones we've been waiting for. Brothers like yourself, brothers like myself, the people who are teaching, we are the ones we've been waiting for. So we have to wake up the multitude of the masses and just teach them the history. I'm not trying to shove this down anybody's throat. I'm not trying to postulate. Those who are awakened, I'm there to give them the truth. I don't debate with nobody. I only teach. I sat at the foot of Dr. Clark, Dr. Ben, Dr. Jacob Crothers, Dr. Diop. I sat at their feet. And now it's just my time just to teach. So
My king, my
I'm
king,
open.
my king, please allow me and everyone on the platform at this present time to bow you to you, King, to really thank you for your sacrifices. Thank you for your hard work. Thank you for your studies. And thank you for your courage in teaching the truth, my King. We thank you so much. We know that the works that you've done, as James says, that you've literally opened the eyes of millions around the world. You understand that you are a great grand master of the Kemetic priest scientist. You're an African village chief. You're a spiritual warrior. You're a holistic healer. You're an Africanologist, educator, and author. I mean, brother, you've just been non-stop on this field, brother. And, you know, just as we carry on this discussion, brother, I just want you to know we are honored to have you amongst us, my king. And we thank you so much. And that comes from my heart, my big brother.
It's a pleasure to be here.
We know the sacrifice, or in fact, we don't know the sacrifice you've had to make in your life just for you to be able to sit in front of us today and teach this word. Brother, thank you, King. Just a very quick thing, my big brother. I know that you was one of the key components of the One Africa conference that was meant to take place in Egypt, but the forces were against us teaching our own from the mother continent itself. So, brother, can you just let everyone know about the One Africa and that it's still available? Can you let them know anything, just in case those on the platform may not know about the One Africa conference?
Right. Well, they can still purchase the one. They can go to happyfilms.com and get the whole conference. Like they can do that. I opened up the conference. I was honored. Brother Take and Felicia them said, Mfundishi, we need to open this conference up with fire. We need to open this conference up, letting people know what Pan-Africanism is all about, what operational unity is all about. And so I was honored to be the first speaker to open up the conference. You know, hopefully people acknowledge that I did a decent job.
No, but you did a brilliant job. Brilliant job. Come on, brother.
So my job was just to make people feel welcome and to let them know we are one people. You see, we got to get rid of this confusion in the world. I use this example over and over again, and I'm going to use it again. We all know what a German Shepherd dog looks like. He's like brown and black with kind of pointy ears. He's a relatively large dog. Okay. If you take the German Shepherd dog and you bring him to England, he doesn't become a British German Shepherd dog. He's still a German Shepherd. If I bring him to America, he's not an American German Shepherd dog. If I take him to Canada, he's not a Canadian German Shepherd dog. He's a German Shepherd dog in Canada, a German Shepherd dog in the US, a German Shepherd dog in London. If he has pups on a TWA plane, they're not TWA German Shepherds. They're still German Shepherd. But for some strange reason, you take Africans out of the African continents and we become Negroes, colored people, Afro-Americans, all these other things. We are still Africans. And we got to begin to understand that. And that we have been endowed with melanin, the most powerful molecule in the animal domain. Melanin is like chlorophyll to plants, like carbon to minerals. Melanin is that key to human beings and to animals. And we're trying to get rid of our melanin. Melanin is worth more than gold and platinum on the scale. And so we got to enrich, we got to love ourselves, we got to know who we are. The One Africa Conference was a success. And brother, you know, sometimes when we think something is incorrect and we begin to do it, we find out that the inconvenience was done on purpose. I think the conference became more powerful in Detroit. We had standing room only all day long. Different groups coming in, and going. We had an array of powerful speakers. And there was nothing but operational unity. There was nothing but Pan-Africanism.
Come on.
We had lay people from the community speaking. We had world scholars speaking.
Come on.
We had the whole conglomerate all working like that. and coming together like the fingers on the hand to a fist. And it was extremely powerful. People, I think it's like 12 hours of tape, but you can order the One Africa video. It's like 12 hours of speakers, and you get it for $20.
No.
You can't beat that. Just 20
No.
12 hours of the top scholars and makers and shakers for $20. So we advise all listeners, go on hoppyfilm.com and order the conference. So you don't have to take my word for it. You can hear what people are doing. I mean, we had from rappers to singers to scholars. We had working lay people. Everybody was talking about how powerful it is for us to come together, spend our money together, work together, love together, build together. So that was extremely powerful, brother. I was honored to be there. I brought my family, my daughter was there with me. I had my lady with me, my woman. We all were enriched in the flavor of unity. That was the flavor, brother. The flavor was unity. And that's all you saw. Everybody, good words, good vibrations. So we can do this every place we go. Y'all know I'm coming to England on October 1st, right?
You know that's what I was going to go into. It's even going to get better. You're going to be in the UK. Let us know when. Where?
Right. I'll be in the UK October 1st through the 12th. I'm going to at Brother Andrew's conference, the Black History Book conference in Birmingham on October 1st.
Woo.
I'll be taking people to the British Museum on October 2nd.
Woo.
I'll be going to Liverpool, Leeds, London, and about 3 or 4 other cities in the UK. Speaking,
come on, black man.
Teaching, talking about my book, Spiritual Warriors Are Healers and Menchu Hotep. Those are my latest 2 books, Menchu Hotep and the Spirit of the Magi.
But you got at least 6 books, brother. Give us the names of all 6 of your books, brother.
Well, let me just tell people just a little bit about, but I have about 8 books out there. But the books that you can buy Kupagani Ngumi, which is a book based on the African martial arts that we created, the science of martial arts. You see, every group on the planet, has a way of defending themselves. So we don't, we are the earliest people, so therefore we created the earliest martial arts. But in terms of a science, on the walls of ancient Kemet, just like the walls you got behind you, we got friezes of Africans doing organized combat going back 5,000 years ago. That's before the Chinese, before the Japanese, before the Koreans, before any of the Asian civilizations. And it's organized. So you can see jujitsu, judo, all of this comes from us. So my book is called Kupagani Ngumi. I co-authored it with my teacher, Mfundishi Maasi. Then I have a book called Spiritual Warriors Are Healers, which is a 5-year project I put together. And it's like the encyclopedia of the Kemetic spiritual system. So anybody who's interested in ancient Kemet, I talk about what is the nature? What is the natural rule? What is Ma'at? What is spirit? What is spirituality? What is Pan-Africanism? What is a spiritual warrior? What is the Kemetic legacy? What is Kupagani Ngumi? What is Ma'at Akuba Ang? What are all of these ingredients that we're learning in ancient Kemet? My book, Spiritual Warriors Are Healers, it's like I'm teaching a master class now. That's the book that they have to use. When I teach at the university, that's the book they have to use, Spiritual Warriors Are Healers. Over 20 colleges are using my book, Spiritual Warriors Are Healers, in their African Studies department. Woo! That's that book. Then I have my latest 2 novels. It's called Menchu Hotep and the Spirit of the Magi. And then Shemsu Haru, Menchu Hotep. That's book 2. Right now, it's being negotiated as a movie. It was already awarded the best historical novel of 2021 and now 22. So now I got people looking to bring it alive. I want to have a whole series as opposed to just one movie. We're negotiating on that now.
Beautiful. Beautiful, King. Beautiful. Brother, so someone just typed they're already dizzy just listening to you, brother, with knowledge. They're just dizzy listening to. Oh, we got our brother Jammers with one of your books there. We can't see it properly.
Right,
Jammer,
yeah,
but
he just read Spiritual. Yeah, that's Kupagani and Gumi. Yes, that was the first major book. And then came Spiritual Warriors Are Healers, and then comes Minchu Hotep, and then comes Shimsu Haru Minchu. Those are my last 4 that you can purchase now on Amazon.
Brilliant.
When I come to the UK, I'll be bringing all of them for sale.
Yeah, that, brothers and sisters. Say that one more time, King.
So when I come October 1st at the Black History Program, I'll have 4 of my latest books all on sale, and maybe a couple of my books of poetry. My first books were books of poetry. I have a book called 7 Shades of Black that is out there, and a couple of other books. So I'll have those available too.
Fantastic.
So is there any specific questions you want to ask me? Okay.
Yes, my king. Yes, my king. Tonight, the theme is genes of greatness. In speaking to our people, we know you're going to be coming here live and direct in October. But what would you like to say to our people right now listening to you about the genetic greatness of African people?
Well, I need people to clearly understand. You see, somebody else has been telling our story. It's time for us to tell our story. We know we are the original people on the planet. So I need people to clearly understand that. Homo sapiens sapien was created in Africa. Neanderthal left earlier. That's not a civilizing being, okay? Neanderthal mixed with Homo sapiens sapien, us, and later we get Europeans. But the melanin deficient human that we see today really came into existence after the last great flood. Even their scientists show there is no pink people on the planet as a whole, not unless they were an albino, except after the last flood, which is about 8 to 10,000 years ago. So before 8 and 10,000 years ago, the only people on the planet was us. And variations from Neanderthal. So I need people to understand that. So when they look at the first Europeans, they were Africans. In fact, I think I know the Irish now are proving beyond a shadow of doubt the first Irish people were Black people.
Absolutely.
They were black skin, locks with green eyes and blue eyes. Okay, those were the first Irish. The first short people there, the leprechauns, were the Twa people, the sand people coming from the interior of Africa. They brought the gold. So when you see that story about the leprechaun and all of that, that's African people. And then that's them trying to steal our gold, okay? Steal our stuff. So instead of you drinking green beer, you need to understand that those original people were African people there. If you look right now and you just look at the books and you see that the early royal families in Europe were illiterate. They needed the Moors, the Africans, to come in to teach them to write and to read. And so that's France, Germany, England, all of them. Their roots is with Black African Moors, okay, who taught them how to read. The first universities in 711 in the Common Era were brought there by Africans. So the first university, before there was an Oxford and the Cambridge and all of them, they studied at African universities and then put their universities together. So people, Africa is a glorious thing. We have to claim our history. Diop told us that you're not serious about African history until you connect it to the Nile Valley, to the Happy Valley. So I don't care if you're in Nigeria, Ghana, Senegal, all those, Mali, all those roads lead back to the Nile Valley. You see, African people were moving around the continent for millions of years. And I need people to understand when I talk about ancient Kemet, and brother, I see you got it proudly on your chest. When we talk about ancient Kemet, we're not talking about only the little strip where Egypt is. Kemet was the mouthpiece of the whole continent of Africa.
Teach.
So I need people to understand that. That would be like listening to Mfundishi and you only got a picture of my lips, okay? And you go, oh, his lips was deep. Not knowing that my lips is connected to a whole body. that's the way Kemet was. Kemet was the mouthpiece of the African continent. The trade, export, and import came from the interior of Africa. Kemet was the one that disseminated it into Asia and Europe. Okay, so I just need people to understand that. The Hopi River was like a cultural highway that dealt with importing goods from the interior of Africa and then exporting it to Eurasia. So I just need people to understand that. And then as foreigners came into Kemet, when some of these Africans migrated out of Kemet, they migrated into Senegal, Mali, Ifa, the Ifa religion, all of that comes out of ancient Kemet. And so even those things that we see in West Africa still has a Kemetic connection. So we shouldn't be debating, oh, that's East Africa, that's West Africa. Like my family comes from Tanzania, but I embrace all of Africa. I'm a chieftain, I'm a king in Ghana. I don't have a distinction because my family's from Tanzania. It's all ours. Yes. And you see, what has happened is that our former colonizers use our division, tribal division, which we had as pride. They used it as a weapon against us. And we have to get rid of the tribalism. We have to understand, be proud that you're Ashanti, be proud that you're Ga, be proud that you're Wolof, but we are still Africans first. Okay, and so the idea here is that we need a whole Pan-African thing. So I'm a component. When I talk about Pan-Africa, I say we should get rid of the 54 borders dividing up all those countries in Africa. We need to be one African continent with one president, one council to govern all of that. Small little Togo can't compete with China on the world market. Ghana, as powerful it is, can't compete with Russia. You see what I'm saying? Senegal can't compete with Germany, but Africa, the richest continent on the planet, can compete with everybody.
Absolutely.
So we need to come together, like we're like this with the hands open, and they pick us off one by one. We need to bring that together as a fist. See, right now, like they denied Haiti admission into the African Union, but you got Arabs who got African slavery going in Morocco, Mauritania, and that part of the African Union. So that's part of the problem. The African Union can't come up with a solution because part of the problem is in the African Union. Yes. You got people who are anti-African, part of the African Union, who got voting rights. Mauritania, Libya, all Morocco, slavery still exists there. Yes. African people are still being chattel. And only people like Paul Mugabe of Uganda is speaking out, saying for those Africans to come to Uganda, and he will find jobs and train them. So we got people like that who are speaking out. But Africa has to get some backbone, brother. Absolutely. We got to let go of our colonial masters. You know, and I'm glad that we're embracing our culture. We're coming together. One good thing that has happened in the last couple of years, just pre-pandemic, was that they got rid of the trade embargoes, the taxes. So that means that you can trade in any African country without there being taxes. So that's a step towards Pan-African unity.
Yes.
That's a step. So we're making some steps. But you see, these little presidents of small little countries with Swiss bank accounts and sending their kids off to Europe to be educated, they don't want to get rid of that. This like it's my turn to have a Mercedes-Benz now. I don't want to get rid of that. You know, so you got all these little guys now don't want to give up their little kingdom as opposed to coming to operational unity.
Yes.
You know.
My king, Sister Samira. I believe there was a question that was asked in the Q&A room.
So Sister Joy is asking, is that martial art connected to, I think that's Kizimba?
Is martial arts connected to what?
Kizimba? Is it Kazumba or Kazimba? Sister Joy?
I'm not sure what Kazimba is, so I can't answer that question. What is Kazimba?
I don't.
Okay, well, hopefully Joy will come back. She said that Kazimba, so Sister Joy will probably come back on that point. Brother, just before Joy comes back on that, she normally will come back on that question. Brother, could you please explain the meaning of your name?
Yes, surely. I'll say my whole name. Mfundishi Jhutyms Ka In Haru Hassan Kamal Salim. So my birth name is Hassan Kamal Salim. That's Swahili. It means a good person who is a silent warrior for peace. Jhutyms, as a Kemetic priest, I was given the name Jhutyms, which means one who is articulate in thought, speech, writing, and action. Like Jhuty, the Necha Jhuty. But I can't be Jhuty, so I'm Jhutyms, one who was born with the energy of Jhuty. And I'm a grandmaster in the martial arts, 6-time national champion. I actually went over 10 years without ever losing a match in combat.
No, brother, say that again. Say that again.
So that's Ka In Haru. So even though I'm a scholar, intellectual, don't get it twisted. You know, I can go physical if I need to, but I'm a peaceful brother. Okay. And then Mfundishi was given a title given to me by the other Mfundishis. There's several Mfundishis. Mfundishi Maasi and Mfundishi Tolono, who is our ancestor now. They were the first two Mfundishis. And then Mfundishi Tayari Cassell, who still exists, one of the greatest martial artists on the planet. Okay. And then I was the fourth Mfundishi in that title, which means spiritual great grandmaster. So, so I'm a spiritual great grandmaster who is a high priest of the ancient Kemetic legacy, who is a martial artist, not a martial, but we call Menchu combat artist. See, martial comes from the Greek god Martial.
That's right, Mars. Yes.
War. So I'm a Menchu. Menchu is the nature of war and combat in ancient Kemet. So I'm a Menchu combat artist. Not a martial artist.
Not a martial artist. No Romans here.
And then I still hold my roots from East Africa, from Tanzania, of a spiritual warrior, a silent warrior of peace. So that's the totality of my name.
Brother, you are, I mean, I can see right now you've got the platform on fire, my king. You've got a platform on fire. And, you know, brother, in all of your travels throughout Mother Africa, where would you say was your spiritual home? You know, sometimes we have one place that just captures us. Mm-hmm. Where would you say would be your personal spiritual home that you just said, this is it for me?
Well, let me just say this here. I said before, for example, I embraced the whole African continent.
Absolutely.
Okay? And I can't live everywhere at once.
Absolutely.
So, right now, we're building a temple, a school, and a healing village in Ghana. Ghana has been open-hearted of welcoming Africans in the diaspora back home. So I think Ghana leads all African countries in welcoming Africans in the diaspora back home to Africa. And so in Ghana, we're building, we have a 100-acre farm. We're building a healing center.
Love you, brother.
And a culture center. So we have a Kemetic temple being built in Ghana as we're talking now. That's going on. So projection finish date is 2025 to have all that totally finished. But when we finish it, I want it to be a prototype to go to Tanzania, to Uganda, to South Africa, all around the African continent. So even though my school physically will be in Ghana, you could be in the UK, you could be in the United States, you could be in Brazil and still take classes.
Brother, you've got us far. As you speak, and I know I'm not the first or the last person to say this, brother, you have an internal fire within you, brother. You're brother that's on fire with truth. Brothers and sisters, if you're feeling Mfundishi, if you're feeling our king, Drop some damn ones in that chat room. If you're feeling his fire, if you're feeling his spirit, if you're feeling his energy, if you feel Ra coming out of my king right now, drop some damn ones, man. Let the brother see that he's not alone in this path and that he's got warriors in the UK, in the Caribbean, and around the world that are absolutely supporting him. Brother, I don't know if you can see the chat room, but brother, you're on fire right now.
So the
And,
brothers who are in South America, I'm on my way next month. I'll be for 3 weeks. I'll be in Brazil, and I'll be traveling to all of the major cities where Black people are in Brazil, spreading African Pan-Africanism and consciousness. When I leave Brazil, I'll be coming to the UK. I'm also going back to Ghana. I'm traveling to South Africa. I'm traveling to several different places, you know. So I've been honored, brother. I've been honored that people want to hear the message that I have to deliver. And all I'm doing is I'm a servant of the ancestors. This is not just Mfundishi speaking. Mfundishi is a voice of our sacred ancestors who put me on this mission to wake you up. You proud, dynamic people, you are the salt of the earth, and African people need to know who they are.
teach.
You know, so that's all I'm trying to do is to wake us up. Just wake us up. Because once we wake up, no one can compete with us. But
Come
you see,
on, black
we don't
man.
want to do to other people what they have done to us.
Come on, my
Dr.
king.
Clark used to tell us we have no friends in the world. But people, I need you to know there's enough. We have one of the second or third largest population on the planet. If we're just our own friends, we can conquer all our problems. All our problems, economic, political, social, all our problems, just by believing in ourselves.
Brother, we thank you so much for your time. We thank you so much for your energy, brother. We can't wait to have you here in the UK. We can't wait to have you back on the Hidden Truth program, brother. Right now, we're approaching 300 people on the laptops. This is only the laptop count. This doesn't include those who are on mobile phones or on their iPads. Brother, you've got hundreds of people. You've touched us in the last half hour which you've been speaking. Now, brother, one or two quick things, because we know that your time is limited, King, and I don't want to overrun your stay with us, okay, my big brother. But could you just repeat for us one more time the One Africa?
Yes, I'm telling people they can buy the One Africa tape that we came together in Detroit in June because we couldn't do the conference in Egypt. It was too powerful. It was too black. It was too strong. People got shook up. They didn't want scholars coming from all around the world talking about ancient Egypt is black. You see, Egypt is controlled by Arabs. They are hybrid people. And they're trying to claim our legacy. They're pimping African legacy. Okay. And so, and along with some black collaborators, they were able to stop the conference. Okay. So we took the conference to Detroit, Michigan, and it was even more successful of talking about Pan-African unity. And people, you can buy that. I think there's over 12 hours of footage of dynamic speakers at that One Africa conference. And you can buy that tape for $20 for Hoppy at hoppyfilms.com. Also, you know, Hoppy has another film out called Hoppy dealing with economics. So black people can take their economics in their hand by going to also hoppyfilm.com and getting the film on economics. Hoppy has another film out called The Tekken, in which I think I'm the star in that particular one. And I'm taking people to Washington, D.C. in the United States, and I'm showing them how all of Washington, D.C. was set up like ancient Kemet. America was supposed to be Kemet of the West. So absolutely. Europeans was, you know, so in the center of Washington, D.C. is the Tekken, and the Potomac River acts as the Nile River. On the west bank of Potomac River is the Valley of the Dignitaries. That was like the Valley of the Kings. On the east bank is where the Capitol building is, just like the Temple of Waset and all of that in ancient Kemet. George Washington is sitting there with the baguette over his head. trying to act like he's a czar. So I'm just trying to show you 52 of the 55 people who signed the Declaration of Independence in America were all Freemasons. They were studying
Absolutely.
ancient Kemet.
Absolutely.
So you can also buy that from hoppy.com. That's a video that's available. And Dr. J did a video on ancient Kush also. So all of those films are available on hoppy.com. And right now we're doing a master class in the Medu Necha. September 9th through the 17th, I'm taking the group back to Egypt on the tour. We did a tour in June. It was 85 people. It was extremely successful. And we're taking another group now in September. We're taking about 50 plus people in September. It's a 4-day cruise down the Nile, and I take people to all the temples, and I'm dispelling all the lies. See, when they go with me, I'm reading the glyphs off the wall. This is not something somebody trained me to do, like a little quiz. I'm reading what our ancestors said. I'm taking it down. And we're not using no Greek names. Ain't no Ramses II. His name is Ursa Ma'at Ra Satepin Ra. You see, there's power in a name. So,
Yes.
brother, when you ask me to explain my name, that's power.
Power.
A name supersedes you. A name forges a path for you. You know,
Beautiful.
if you have a name that's contrary, that's not connected to your culture, your language, or your history, then you are pushing somebody else's language, history, and culture. So when I take people to the Nile Valley, I'm teaching them we don't go as tourists. We go to our ancestral homeland
Oh,
to reconnect with our ancestors. See, that's a whole different vibe,
different mindset, my king.
different mindset. And I do it all from symptomatic thinking. There's a brother here in New York. His name is Edgar Ridley. He has a book called The Golden Apple. He has another book called The African Answer. But the key is symptomatic thinking versus symbolic thinking. See, symbolic thinking, I don't have to prove nothing. I can just say anything and say, Simon says, do this.
Yes.
Symptomatic thinking means that I can prove it. I can show you. For example, when I talk about Menchu Hotep, my book, Menchu Hotep, I got his grave. I got his tomb. I got his statue. I got the buildings that he was in. I got all of that. So that's symptomatic. When you're talking about people in the Bible, you can't show me nobody. You can't show me nobody's grave, nobody's mummy, nobody's statue. Ain't no building still standing. That's symbolic. And then I say, if you don't believe me, you go into hell. Okay, which is another symbolic thing that doesn't exist. So symptomatic thinking, brothers and sisters, you can't be duped when it's symptomatic, because now I can prove it. It is logical. It is mathematical. It is science. And that's the way I teach the Medu Necha. Symptomatically, I can prove it. When I show somebody a letter in the alphabet or a word in the alphabet, I can show them why that word means that. So it empowers you. Our language is waiting to empower us, brother.
Absolutely. And same thing Jammers said, just as a great way to lead on to yourself, brother, that our language is there waiting for us to liberate us, beloved. Just in the words alone, just in the language alone is powerful.
Words of power. That's why,
Words of power.
When you're writing a word, that's called spelling. You can put a spell on people.
That's right.
So I'm trying to show people. In the beginning was the word, and the word was with God. The word was God. So you have to speak only ma'at. Speak the truth or shut up.
Hey, woo! Brother, you're on fire tonight. Brother, Mfundishi, beloved brothers and sisters, make some noise, my king. We thank you so much. And when you're back in the UK, brother, we're gonna have to be back on the
Maybe
show.
she might want to ask her question again. My sister's been.
Oh, well, time has gone. Time has gone, though, sister. Yes, it's literally time has gone. Time has got, I know there's more questions.
It's
but
literally a very quick one, just to brother
has gone.
Mfundishi, very quickly. Is it on your website for the tour in Kemet? Just want to make sure it's on your
Yes,
website.
it's on the happy.com website.
Okay, all right.
So
That
go
was
to
it.
happyfilm.com, and the September 9th trip is still open.
Perfect.
September 9th to Egypt.
Thank you very much.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, my big brother. You've done a phenomenal. Brothers and sisters, again, make some noise for our king. Make some noise for our king. Brother Jammers, we salute you too, my big brother. And you know, with Mfundishi on the platform, we just had to bring you on prior to you use like John the Baptist if I'm gonna go scripture. I can't show you where he's buried. I can't show you his statue. I can't tell you anything about John the Baptist, but you acted symbolically to line the way. My king, we thank you so much, my big brother. And we bow to you, sir. We bow to you. Thank you so much.
Hopefully I'll see you again before the October 1st conference. Okay.
Absolutely, my big brother.
And I'm gonna
before
be
you
looking
go,
for you. I'm gonna look for you in Birmingham. I want to see you there.
yes, my king. Before you go, because time, we've got to move on. But before you go, I definitely would like to give you just one more minute. What is your closing words to us on Hidden Truth? What's your closing words?
My closing words is that your culture is your medicine. Do not abandon your culture. Your culture will circumnavigate. There are 5 domains that we have. That's the spirit domain. The creator is a spirit consciousness. It created the mineral domain. The mineral domain is the planets, the galaxies, the universe. From the mineral domain, then we have the plant domain, which is our fuel and our medicine, food. Then we have the animal domain. The animals are here to teach us, not to be our food source. If you eat them all up, you're not going to learn anything. And then the 5th domain is the human domain. So spirit, mineral, animal, plant, human domain. Study those domains and they will help you understand your culture the way our ancestors understood their culture, because your culture is your medicine. If you lose your language, you lose your culture, you die.
All praises are due to Allah. Brother, no. Don't say thank you to us. We must thank you, my king. Brother, is that poetry coming from your lips, brother. Just in that last 1 minute, what you just said in that last 1 minute about the 5 domains of that culture is our medicine. Brothers and sisters, you know how deep that went, yeah? Mfundishi, thank you so much, my beautiful brother.
My pleasure.
And we look forward to welcoming you in the UK back on the Hidden Truth Show. We thank you. Brother Jammers, we thank you, sir. Brother Jammers, we thank you too, my king. And
the honor's mine, man. The honor's mine. Well, I've been to school today, and I've enjoyed every second of it.
We've all been schooled today, my king. We've all been schooled today. But we know this is one of the leaders. We're talking about one of the G's on planet Earth, not just in America. We just had a master class on one of the G's planet wide. You know what I'm saying? We got into the big league now. You know what I'm saying?
I said it, but now I realize what it is.
You understand? That's where we're going, brothers and sisters. Jeez, you just heard from the man himself, master teacher who's just amongst us, brothers and sisters. And again, we thank our brother Jammers from the UK that gave us words, man, the power and the meaning of words. But brothers and sisters, as we move on, because the hidden truth is there. The truth is there, brothers and sisters. But as you know, this war isn't just a physical war. This war is not just a spiritual war. This word is an economical war, brothers and sisters. We've got to support Black businesses. Understand